Good morning and afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 32. What in the net is going on here?
What is going on here?
It's everything's a lot closer than I thought. Like, I guess it's still very early in the season. What, we're only like 20, 25 games in?
Not even that far. I think
Are we not even that far?
probably early 20s. Early 20s.
Early 20s?
Yep.
And I don't know. I maybe it's just because I don't remember last year very well, but I feel like things were more defined.
Yes, I think last season was chaotic, but early on we at least saw some trends, whereas so far the start of the season, teams are all over the place, which is juicy.
Everything's so close. Like, there's so many, like, there's, like, other than, like, no one's really pulled ahead. Like, no one's been devastatingly strong from the beginning. There are a couple of strong-looking teams, but then teams just keep sort of flipping back and forth on, like, if they want to play well or not.
Speaking of flipping back and forth, I'm Ben. This is Harry.
Yeah, sorry. Forgot about that. Yeah, we talk about the basketball.
Yeah. I think we're just itching to go because there's so much to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. And we didn't do one last week because I was sick again. In Australia, it's cold season, and we've been sick, but now we're not.
We're good to go now.
I want to start off straight away with calling out the 76ers.
Yep.
You're welcome. I curse them to be good. Because I said that Doc Rivers is trash.
Yep, we got it here on the board.
And that they're not going to win the championship, which I stand by.
Yep.
Doc Rivers is trash. But somehow the Nets decided to be even worse than Doc Rivers.
Yeah. Well, we've got it right here. We've got the call. Doc Rivers needs to be, in capital letters, fired.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're not going to make it past
I still stand by that.
Mm.
But the 76ers beat the Nets last week.
Yep.
The Nets that had a full bench. They had KD, Kyrie, Ben Simmons. They even had Claxton.
Yeah.
They had all of their bench players. I don't think there was anyone super important that missed the game. They had Curry. They had who's the other shooter? Harris.
Yep.
Yeah, they had pretty much everyone they could ever want, and they lost to Niang.
Georges Niang just going off.
Niang was just like bup.
Just firing.
He just kept the Nets were just like, oh yeah, we should win this. Let's just let the bench players for the 76ers shoot threes.
Yeah, I mean, what you were saying before, they had Milton and Melton, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, and then they had Tobias, Tucker, and some other random dude, I think.
Yeah, but they were missing Maxey, so obviously the backup guard's getting some more reps.
And Harrell.
And
Harrell started, and he's been terrible. Like, they were missing Maxley, Harden, and Embiid. And they beat pretty much a full-strength Nets.
Again, this goes back to the intro. How crazy! What the net is going on? Like,
I was about to say that, damn it. I was about to be like, what in the net is going on?
I took your tagline.
But then, a week later, actually, today, in fact, the first of the 12th at 6:09 p.m., and that is legit. You can look. It is 6:09 p.m.
As I'm recording.
Then they lose to the Cavs by my math is very poor, but that's like 20, 30 points.
Yeah, it was about a 30-point loss.
30-point loss.
Most importantly, this is with Embiid. Pretty much back to full strength. So it's like...
Yeah, they're missing Maxley and Harden, but the Cavs were missing Kevin Love
and Jared Allen.
Which... Not the same. Like, you can't compare those two to Maxley and Harden, but if in my opinion, if you're trying to make a deep playoff run and you have your number one player, which Embiid is their number one player, and honestly should have feasted on Mobley. I don't think, Mobley's good, but he's just, especially against Embiid, Embiid's a lot bigger, muscular.
I mean, Mobley's defense is actually not bad. The number of, help defense blocks he gets, that's what he specializes in. But going one-on-one against a big boy like Embiid, to quote the great Shaquille O'Neal, barbecue chicken time. Exactly. That's what it should have been for Embiid.
Exactly. And that is why I have doubts about this team, as much as I hate to have doubts about the 76ers.
Yeah.
And this is why Doc is trash, because if you can't... And the other issue is that they beat the Nets by 6, I think it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge victory. It was still mostly close.
Yeah.
And at the end, they kind of they got away by 6 or whatever. I think it was
I think it's about a 9-point win. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 9-point win. I was close. 6-9.
Yeah.
Jeez, Ben. Wow.
Nice.
But the fact that for me, it's concerning that they lost by 30.
Yeah.
The problem with Philly is like they're either on and they win by a bit, or they're completely off and they lose by 30 and it completely falls apart.
Yeah.
And
it's not like it was a close game. It was I think by the second quarter, end of the second, early third, they already had that 30-point gap. Jeez. Halfway through the game. I was looking at the score like, this can't be right. What?
Yeah, no, I saw that. And I remember I checked in the first half and it was quite close. And then when I next checked it, I was like, when did that happen?
So, it's interesting because, all right, little flashback to, I think last season we were talking about this, right? You've got MVP caliber Embiid, right?
Yeah.
What pieces do you need around him? And I think we mentioned things like you need a few more shooters, you need a bit more help spacing it out. And I feel like they made a couple moves. They've got what, like Niang and stuff like that on the perimeter, Korkmaz. They've got a few shooters around him. But I don't know, like what else needs to be done? I feel like
that's exactly.
Yeah.
They've got like, and when Embiid and PJ Tucker are on the floor together, the 76ers defense is like rated 100 and something 0.6, which it's 106, 100.6.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got there. Yeah. Which I don't know what that means. But according to the statistic, it's the best in the league.
That's a good number defensively. Yeah.
So when those two as a duo are on the floor, their defense is really good.
Yeah.
So if, in my opinion, they've got great shooters, great playmakers. They've got an offensive, unstoppable big that can shoot and can post up and can do all the things you want a big man to do in a modern day NBA. So if the team looks really good, then who do you think is the one that should be at fault here?
Doc Rivers.
There's no one else you can point fingers at, really.
I think an interesting point is so many times when you have a team that gets hyped up, they bring in all these players. Let's even flashback a couple of years to Philly when they got in, like, they got Jimmy, they got Jimmy Butler, they brought in like all those guys. They had like pretty much 4 all-stars on the court effectively, right? A lot of teams, when they have this big thing, it's like, all right, hype up, it's going to have high expectations, and it doesn't go well, the coach is gone. Like, give him like half a season, maybe one season, coach is gone.
How did Doc Rivers not get fired last year?
How is he sticking around? Because they have a prime like Embiid. You can't waste this time with prime Embiid and somehow sticking around. So look, I don't know if I hate Embiid, hate Doc as much as you have.
But it's like he choked at the Clippers, and he choked again with the 76ers, and they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll give you another shot. Like, who does this man know? Like, he just really must be.
He's pulling some strings. But I'm really agreeing with you now, because if you look back, like if you take it season by season, you go, okay, maybe this could have been done differently. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The number of seasons, look at the number of teams he's had that should have been deep playoff runs. And he's maybe a couple times made like the conference finals, but should be doing better. How is he still there?
This is the best. Look, this is his last shot. Honestly.
I feel like it has to be, right?
This is the best team he's had in years.
Yeah, other than maybe the 4 all-star team, but maybe that didn't have the same depth as perhaps they have currently. It's just, what more can be done? I think they need a fresh start. They need a fresh coach in.
Talking about what more can be done, KD in the last 4 games has been averaging 38 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.8 assists. What more can KD do to try and get look? And Simmons is injured again. He's got knee problems.
Yeah.
It's still not going smoothly for the Nets. But what more can KD do?
Man, KD is he's getting a little bit older, but he does not look like it. He's balling out this season. I'm not the biggest KD stan, but he's having a great start to the season. It's tough with all the external situation with players in and out and stuff. Like, I mean, he's got Kyrie back now.
Is he the best player ever? Like, as in, he has to be statistically the best player to ever return from a torn Achilles.
Oh, yes. I was wondering where you're going with that with best player ever. But yeah, from a potentially career-ending injury like that, to bounce back the way he has, I'd say hands down. I can't think of anyone who's come back that strong.
Remember when it happened to Kobe and he had to turn into a jump shooter after his torn Achilles?
Yeah, that was not there. KD looks pretty much as good as he ever has been, really.
Looks the same.
Yeah. Whatever like dark Twitter kind of stuff he's pulled to bring some magic in to make him come back fully, I don't know. It's
like, look at even like someone like Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Who obviously had 2 huge injuries, and obviously he needs his, he just he's taking a lot of time to get better, which is fine. Like, look at Harris. Like, there's a lot of people that are taking time to get back from injuries, but KD just kind of came back and was like, yeah, I'm good.
He's like, yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
I'm balling.
Let me put up 40. Easy.
So the Nets, I think at this stage of the Nets, look, on paper, that's the thing, right? On paper, I think they're such a great team.
Yeah.
The defense is not there at the moment.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing we're
just
seeing.
Had a coach change. Like, I'm prepared, even though the statistics say that if you are in a losing, if you've lost more of in the first 14 games, if you've lost more of them than you've won them, you can't win a championship. I'm happy to give
interesting.
There's weird statistics like that where it's like there's statistically they have a 0% chance now of winning. But they're still in there. They're not completely out of it. They're 8th at the moment. They're slowly coming back up. They were in 10th. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I need another 20 games. I want to give them 20 more games. Well, actually, it's a 52-game season.
There have been too many other predicaments and situations beginning of the season, missing players, things like that.
I want to give them 10 to 15 more games. If I just feel like if this team can get hot, they've got all the firepower in the world.
That's the thing. Offensively, they're scary. The interesting thing, though, just comparing their offense to, let's say, like I don't know, other crazy offensive teams, the Warriors and Celtics, they made the finals last year. The difference is just the ball movement and passing is not the same. They go on sheer, the number of ISO plays from, KD and Kyrie. They still get buckets, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of ISO and then last resort kicking out to their three-point shooters. Whereas you have Boston, I think, leading the league in points and scoring. The Warriors leading the league in assists. Very different ball movement based teams, I guess. And I know KD can play in that system because I watched the Curry interview with JJ, which was really, really good. But he was saying when KD comes in, a player of that caliber, you think, oh, who's going to have to not be scoring as much to balance it out? But KD's no, I can play with whatever. Whatever system I can play in it.
KD hoops.
Yeah. He just straight gets buckets. It's insane. So I almost want to see
But that's what made the Golden State Warriors so good.
Yeah.
There was no ego. It was all about just getting the best shot.
It was about winning, just straight up winning.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting with the Nets team. I don't know. Obviously they've had multiple coaches. Nash is gone and things like that. But if there's some coach that can come in and change the way they play a bit, because yes, they do thrive on the mid-range. They thrive on the ISO. They've got the talent. With that team with a bit more ball movement, I don't know. I think maybe
the new coach is still trying to work out. He's obviously they've got to redo the playbook now from Kevin Nash.
That's
Kevin
fair.
Nash, no,
Steve Nash. Yeah.
Steve Nash.
I guess it's early days, so
it's close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just on paper this team looks fantastic, and they're just not achieving what I think is possible. Obviously, Ben Simmons is still ramping up. He's had some better games.
Yeah, I think last time we mentioned that we want to see a little bit more from him, but give him some time.
He had a 20-point game the other day.
And yeah, as soon as we put that out there, he had 20. He's had some double doubles.
Did we curse Ben Simmons to be better?
Is this a new thing? Instead of the Hoopinions curse, it's the Hoopinions bless.
Blessed, maybe.
Blessed. #Hoopinions blessed.
Maybe we are. Maybe we are. Maybe we should start the Church of Hoopinions. Come, my child. Shoot the three. Bless.
We can get Kyrie getting the sage around the room for us.
And I want a big hat, a big Pope hat.
Oh man.
Talking about other people that are playing ridiculously well, I want to very quickly mention that Jason Tatum's averaging 30 points a game at the moment. For the whole season, he is on fire. I think he got 45 points the other day. Yeah. Boston look really, really strong at the moment. Obviously, it's still early season and things fall apart in the postseason. But at the moment, they are the clear number one team in the East.
Yep, definitely.
And they're still missing their main center, Williams.
Yeah.
And they're just playing really good. They're locked in. The new coach is doing great. They've just sort of shrugged off that whole coaching controversy and they're just back at it, which honestly, I love to see it. I do like to see if you make a deep playoff run that you can keep things together. And they did everything right. They kept the team together. They didn't blow it up. They didn't make any major changes. And I'm glad that they're doing well because it sucks when someone makes a deep playoff run and you talk them up and then the next year they just suck.
Yeah, because there's all that pressure once you make it to, especially the finals, to come back and then perform well. I think a lot of people honestly were sleeping on them a bit because they were saying, oh, defensive wise, without their key in the paint, they're going to be worse, and without the coach, it's going to be worse. But just some stats: they're leading the league in points per game, in threes per game, percentage per game, free throw percentage. Just honestly, defensively, they're doing enough. it's their offense efficiency that is just going wild. Like they've got the star talent, but I think it's just good looks. They're just unstoppable in that regard.
They beat the Hornets the other day, 140 to 105.
140, that's a big stat line. I mean, we're seeing it more and more these days, but you don't see a ton of 140s. That's pretty high.
The thing is, right, even if you're versing the worst team in the league, the skill level is still ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, looking at some of the upsets already in the beginning of the season, any team can still surprise any other team. So it's about consistency and those easy, quote-unquote, easy games. You still have to perform on those nights.
Honestly, these easy games, in quotes, might be the difference between a couple of seeding places with the way things are going at the moment. I also want to mention Scotty Barnes has gone. He's going backwards this year in all categories.
Not good to hear.
All categories, he is struggling. He had 4 points, I think, today. He was like 1 from 7. It was pretty bad. But look, if you like, I've got up here on the screen like his career. You can look at his career. His career stats are better than his stats this year in all except for assists.
So he's distributing the ball a little bit better this season, but other than that,
everything
his points
else
are down. His percentages are generally down.
Yeah, everything's going backwards. His rebounds, points, his efficiency. It's not what he had. Such a great season last year.
Yeah,
I had him on my fantasy team, and he was great.
He had a really solid rookie season. Like I was looking at him, one of the top candidates for Rookie of the Year. He was up in that caliber at least. Obviously, Cade Mobley. But, I mean, look, the Raptors are still doing all right, sitting in 7th at the moment. So, obviously, it's not impacting the team too much. But the second, honestly, the rookie year, I don't know if other people say this too, but rookie year is like a nice little taste, but doesn't say too much. I feel like year number 2, that's the important year. And I think you see that with a lot of guys. I think LaMelo had a big second year. Like, Ja even took a big step up. Like, these guys have a good first year, but the second one is when they've had that time to acclimatize. So it's a little concerning if Scotty's going backwards a little bit. So
yeah, and obviously like it's still early in the season, but I did see a post today how Scotty is just having a rough start to the year, and I hope he can push out, because the thing is, right, if he's getting 4 or 5 points a game instead of 10 to 15, like that's like with not a huge like the Raptors roster at the moment isn't like hugely star-studded.
No.
There's definitely like someone like him. The difference between him averaging 10 or 15 a game is a big step up.
Yeah,
because they've all got to work together, and if Barnes isn't carrying his weight, well, one thing, Nick Nurse will call him out. Nick Nurse is brutal.
Yeah,
when it comes to calling people out sometimes. But it will slow down the Raptors. Like, I think that, look, I don't think the Raptors will be winning anything anytime soon, but I think they've got the potential to be comfortably, I think they could be comfortably in like the top 6.
Because that's the interesting thing, to be honest, because obviously they had Kawhi, obviously, and a lot of other pieces, Gasol, Ibaka, all that. So they like win the championship. You'd think that they'd be like full tank, full rebuild after that, but they've been pretty much borderline like bottom kind of playoff team in the last few years following their ring, which is better than expected. So
absolutely,
they kind of need their younger players like Scotty to kind of start stepping it up to maintain that, because honestly they could be back in contention much sooner than going through a full rebuild. So
they've got the best coach in the league.
Yeah,
maybe top 2. We'll put Steve Kerr up there as well.
Yeah,
but they've got pretty much the best coach in the league, and like that's the thing, they've got like close, like I wouldn't say they've got any like they've got Pascal. But
Siakam, they got Fred VanVleet, first time All-Star last year. So
yeah, but like they haven't got like, but it's not like the same as like a LeBron or you know what I mean? Like
they're kind of like oh nice, they made All-Star, not like they're a lock for All-Star.
Yeah, I would say it's like look, they've got good players. Sorry, Toronto. I'm not trying to like say you're bad. I just feel like that Nick Nurse
brings out the best in players that aren't as high a caliber as you expect. Yeah,
I think it's like I expect them to be good, but I feel like the Toronto Raptors exceed my expectations on a consistent basis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, speaking of exceeding as well, they are above teams with a lot more legitimate talent like Nets, Wizards, Heat. So I think they're definitely coached well and playing well as a team rather than having that firepower.
God,
so
what is Chicago doing?
Yeah, maybe we'll touch on that in a moment.
I was so hyped for them, and now they're just, what are they doing?
If you want, we can have a quick touch on that, because there are a few surprises because obviously we like we said, early season, but we're still seeing a couple patterns. We mentioned how like Philly was down a little bit further. They've kind of bumped up a little bit, but teams that haven't improved and bounced back that I would have expected are notably the Bulls and the Miami Heat. Which, to be fair,
I thought Miami was just got hot. I don't know. I've never rated Miami that high, and everyone was like, Miami this. And I was like, bruh, they suck.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm not the biggest Miami stan either. Like, again, I'm going to say that, but...
Quote me.
But they have good coaching, Spoelstra. They've got decent depth. I mean, look, they took a few steps backwards with some of their players, like Robinson not having a great season last year. But
how much are they paying him? Like $10 million a year
they keep
to sit on the bench?
They keep making deep playoff runs. You can't argue with that. And they finished first in the East last year, did they not?
Yeah, but they didn't go to the finals.
Yeah, but they still made a deep playoff run. All I'm saying is... I'm surprised this season is what I'm saying. They should be up higher. Yes, they probably exceed expectations, but even with that in consideration, they should be up a bit higher.
The roster isn't that great.
It's not that great, but I think it's a bit of a Toronto situation where you've got good coaching, I think overall good team play, so I think it should be higher. Jimmy's extra hair is weighing him down.
Yeah, oh my gosh, he transplanted that hair, bro. Look.
He pulls it off.
Jimmy's getting older.
Yeah.
Bam's great.
Yep.
Tyler Hero's mostly great. Kyle Lowry's slowing down significantly.
Yeah, I agreed with that.
Victor, didn't he get... Duncan's the most expensive bench warmer of all time.
Shots fired, but true.
And Victor's just... it's just Victor. He's kind of okay, right?
He had his all-star era, and then he's kind of just been a support player since then. So, look, honestly, yeah, when you look at the roster, you go, okay...
Look, you can defend them. I'm just saying that, I think they're bad, and I think last year they got overhyped.
Well, you're right. Honestly, they probably were overhyped. I think the expectations were too high.
Oh, Miami's going to win. Oh,
They did a lot with very little, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Finished first in the East. They are. This is my call. They are the Jazz of the East in terms of like previous Jazz, because finish first or second real high in the season and then don't do well in the playoffs. So, I mean, look, they made a final. Okay, I'm just saying the playoffs they weren't bad. So I don't know what you're talking about. They haven't got the best piece and they did well. So
can we put on the board the Miami Heat and then in brackets with the most expensive bench warmers?
We should actually have a look and find out who the most expensive bench warmers are. That'd be an interesting little segment.
That would be
maybe next week.
Every time we mention Miami now, their nickname is I'm not going to call them the Miami Heat. I'm going to call them expensive bench warmer.
Oh my gosh, savage. But yeah, look, I think yeah. To be fair, still early in the season, but I think the expectations are higher on themselves because of their season performances. So I think that's the reason why.
Sure. Let's talk about top of the West. We talked about Boston. Let's talk about the Suns.
Yep.
Which Booker's playing crazy.
Yeah, dropped 51 the other game.
Oh my god, he's got
just a casual 50 piece.
I think he's averaging 30 at the moment as well.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, and this is the difference between someone like Philadelphia and someone like the Suns, who I have a lot more confidence in. The Suns are first in the West at the moment without Chris Paul, Cam Johnson, or Jay Crowder, who's still honestly chucking a bit of a hissy fit because they wanted to play him off the bench, and he was like, eh.
Yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, the way they're playing, you forget that they're missing some of their most key players. So
that gives me confidence for a deep playoff run.
Yeah. I think we were talking about the Sixers before, missing players doing poorly. So I think when a team can still uphold that standard while missing pieces, they have guys that can slot in.
They've got the depth, they've got the hustle, they don't give up.
Yeah,
they play well. Like that is a team that can overcome adversity in a playoff run, because things very rarely go to plan in playoffs.
Yeah,
someone will go down.
100%, and you need to be able to adjust, especially over a long series.
Exactly.
So. Shout out to Campaign, by the way. 13 points a game,
He's been
5 assists.
Playing great.
This is a guy who was barely on the bottom of the bench for some other teams, I think Thunder and Chicago. He was looking this guy's not going to be in the league for much longer. Shout out to him. He's been balling, so good on him for sticking in there. Good spot on the Suns.
Because Campaign... No, it's the other one that's a really good defensive one. But yeah, no, Campaign's been coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Or used to be coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So... Wowzers.
Good on him. Janky ass left-hander shot, but he makes it.
But the other thing is, you need someone to step up, when you're missing like 3 of your better players.
Yeah, especially Chris Paul, literally their point guard running the show. They need the other guards to step up more as well. So I think they're doing pretty well.
Shout out to Boston. Shout out to the Suns. Y'all at the moment are the teams to beat that are the measuring stick for everyone else.
Speaking of measuring, we were discussing the other day how I love looking at the games behind. We always do this because it's so exciting.
It is.
But the West in particular, 1 through 11 only separated by 4.5 games. So I love how exciting this is because we say, all right, Suns are at the top at the moment, but who knows? Next week could be anyone as far as like even the Blazers or Timberwolves technically could be up there. They're not going to be.
But the other thing is, right, OKC and the Lakers are only 6.5 games behind.
Yeah.
It is not. They're only 2 games behind 10th, 11th.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Even the Lakers in 13th.
It's not in the realm of it's honestly, it's not a given that they will stay there.
Yeah, makes it juicy. So
While we mention the Lakers quickly, I just want to very, very, very quickly.
We always have to have a little touch on.
I just want to absolutely drop a huge dump on the Lakers because a quote came out that said, apparently there is belief shared by the leaders in the Lakers locker room, LeBron, that the team is only a couple of players away from turning the group into a legitimate contender.
I heard that as well, and it made me laugh.
Thoughts?
It made me laugh. I mean, technically speaking, any team with LeBron on it is kind of a couple pieces away because he's pulled some crazy teams up deep into the playoffs. But the way the Lakers are looking, no, it's going to be more than a couple pieces. I'm sorry, Bron. Sorry, buddy.
I was just like, oh, you're going to go like the soft line, or I need like, because like if you don't go hard, no, I'm going to tell you right now, that is the most ridiculous, most short-sighted. Like, what else can I say? This is the dumbest quote I have ever heard.
Made me laugh. I'm usually a fence sitter, and I'll try and look on the other perspective, but no, it's not possible.
The Lakers have 0 chance.
No, and they shot themselves in the foot as well, because not only are they stuck with a bad roster, like they don't have the picks and the pieces to actually trade and try and improve, so they're kind of stuck with what they got.
You know what? I am so confident. I've been listening to a podcast recently where they've been playing around. They call it Icy Hot or whatever it is, but Deep Heat.
Okay, yep.
They've been playing around Deep Heat because they're idiots.
Yep, down under we call it Deep Heat. Yep.
Yes, but it's the hot icy. I don't know what the Americans call it. It's like icy hot.
Icy Hot, yeah.
Yeah, Icy Hot, right? I am so confident that the Lakers will not make it anywhere near the into the playoffs. Like they might squeeze into the playoffs, but they're not going to go anywhere. I am so confident. Yeah, no, first round exit, 100%. But I will put it on. I will. Here's the bet.
Here we go.
If the Lakers make the conference finals,
okay,
because this is what this quote is. They think they're 2 players away from making a deep run.
Yeah, they said legitimate contender, and I would say that would be at least conference finals. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I put? Okay, no, I'll say semis.
Okay, conference semis.
They will not make the semifinals.
You got to go all in. Okay.
This year they will not make the semifinals. There's no chance. And if they do, I will rub Icy Hot all over my junk. That is how confident I am. There is no way that you can tell me that the Lakers will make the semifinals.
I mean, it sounds like a safe bet, but when the stakes are that high, it does make me a little scared. But you know what?
I am confident.
I'm putting it on the board. I'm just going to put Icy Hot, and then I'm just going to draw a shape. And
Icy Hot Lakers.
Yeah.
There is no way. There is no way they can make the semifinals.
I think there are a lot of people that would agree with you.
But look, here's the thing, right? I think Phoenix are better than the Lakers. I think Denver are better than the Nuggets. I think New Orleans are better than the Nuggets. I think Golden State are better than the Lakers. Sorry. Yeah. I think... Oh, it's only 4. Yeah, no, but that's all I need. I only need 4 people.
Yeah. I think the majority of the West, to be honest, looking better.
Yeah, actually, sorry. Yeah, no, honestly, Phoenix, Nuggets, Pelicans, Grizzlies are better. I think if the Clippers are 100% healthy, they're better and better coached. I don't think the Kings are better. The Jazz, honestly, I think the Jazz are better than the Lakers. That's Golden State, definitely. I think the Timberwolves are better. I think the Portland Trailblazers are better. I think the Mavs are better, and they're currently in 11th.
You could probably read out almost the entire league, and that would be better.
No, I'm confident.
I think
I'm plagued by a tiny bit of doubt. I wanted to make this the conference finals, but I think. No, I'm 100% sure that my balls are safe.
Lock it in.
Because there's no way in hell they can make the semifinals.
You know what I think it is, though? Just to put a bit less hype and a bit more like reason to this crazy, crazy quote. I think it's just inspiring the team. I think that you have to say that at that point. I don't think they even believe it themselves, but you just kind of have to say it, right?
LeBron's like, I got to pretend.
Yeah, you got to at least pretend, and then you never know what can happen. So it's better than saying like, yeah, our team's screwed. We have no potential. We've built a terrible roster. I'm stuck here.
Look,
game over.
I'll give them props. AD has looked pretty good recently.
Yeah, because we definitely trash talked him a fair bit over the last couple of seasons. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So as long as AD, like, look, AD's looking better. Where is he? Where are his stats? He's been playing pretty decently. I'll give him that. He's been playing well. This is the sort of AD that they got when they initially traded for him.
Yeah. Not top 5 player in the league like many people keep saying he is over the last few years.
No, he's not a top 5. No.
People always put him top 5 for some reason.
That was just the association with LeBron.
Yeah.
I think they were like, oh, I'm going to keep LeBron happy. Let's make AD top 5. Yeah, that will suck up to look. But as long as he can stay healthy, which let me tell you, there is not, I think only other than Embiid, who flops a lot. AD is the one that I see the most that just like with normal things like my back, my knee, my ankle, I got knocked over again, I did a block and somehow that like hurt me back,
dude,
like
old.
That man looks like he hurts himself at least 10 times a game.
Yeah, it's not great.
He's only one bad injury away from being out for the rest of the season, which I think...
Fingers crossed that he doesn't get injured because we've seen too much injury.
I never wish for anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
He just looks so fragile.
It's just concerning to watch, yeah.
He looks so fragile. I want to quickly mention that James Wiseman has played 5 games in the G League and has a plus-minus of -35.
Yeah, it's concerning because you want to see him go to the G League, ball out, absolutely just get some confidence, get some experience, and then come back to the NBA. But when he's looking that not great,
which I have to say, I have seen 0 footage from him in the G League. I have seen 0 stat lines. Yeah. I have no idea if he's actually been playing good or bad. All I'm saying is that having a -35 over 5 games does not look good on paper.
Yeah. Considering all 5 games were all negative. It's not like he had 1 good game and then 4 bad.
I have done 0 research on this other than that stat that has been posted.
Because people can cherry pick stats and make things look like one thing when they're not. But overall, it's not inspiring confidence, I think I would say.
No. And then the other thing that's not inspiring confidence, which it's going to lead into the... actually, you know what, Harry? Play the Hot Sauce song now.
So hot, alucinante, como el picante. It's Harry's Hot Sauce.
I have put together a little bit of statistical analysis.
Well, I do like a good statistical analysis.
I am so glad I didn't flub any of those words.
Nailed it. Beautiful.
I nailed it. So I'm going to start off with the Mavs. I want to talk about usage rates and minutes played. But before I can talk about that, I just want to mention that Reggie Bullock, the other day against Golden State, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 on 0 from 3 shooting, -14 in 14 minutes.
They call that the Tony Snell stat line, the famous game of having literally 0 across all stats, assists, rebounds, points, everything. I think he did it even better because... Yeah, I think Tony Snell actually had some fouls, whereas Reggie didn't even have any fouls. Yeah. So he had 0 for everything.
Just jogged up and down the court.
Yeah. It's like the Westbrook quote on Pat Bev. He's just out there doing a lot of running, fooling everyone.
So, and then the Mavs have added Kemba Walker, which honestly just... Look, there's nothing really to say. I don't think that moves the needle much for me.
Yeah.
He's not going to come in...
Nothing kind of move. Honestly, it's all upside. I'll look at positive kind of spin on it. It's all upside because if nothing happens, then whatever. But if he actually is contributing to the team, then that's good. So
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about minutes played per game.
Okay.
Currently, at the moment, we have a top 5 of Luka, Mikal Bridges, Fred VanVleet, Donovan Mitchell. I don't know who.
Anthony Simons on the Blazers.
That's right. I don't watch the Blazers. That'd be why. Which is technically an equal 4th, and then you've got Devin Booker. They make it a top 6.
Yep.
And then if we look at usage rates, we've got Giannis at the top with 39%, apparently. I thought that Luka was the highest, but according to this statistics place, he's the highest. But Luka's at a 37.8. You've got Jar at 35, Trey at 34. SGA at 32, and then Jason Tatum. Now, with these 4 or 5 teams, outside of the Bucks, but even with the Bucks, are these teams that you think rely? Well, I'm gonna cherry prick the question here. Do you think these teams rely too much on a single person and not enough on the team?
That's actually a good question, because
that's the point I'm going here, is that we've got a lot of high minutes players.
Yeah, because logically you do have a lot of teams that are dependent on one player, so obviously they're going to have high usage. I think there are a lot of teams that have a deep roster and have a lot of options, but still do go to one player, I suppose. But yes, I would say yes. The answer is I think they do depend on them. Notably, the most I think would be the Mavs with Luka, just absolutely carrying them. Bucks to some extent currently also missing Middleton, so of course Giannis is getting even more usage. So yeah,
and that's the thing. Giannis has the highest usage rate, but he's only playing 32 and averaging 32 minutes a game.
Yeah,
while Luka's averaging 37 minutes a game.
See that's a big step up in minutes as well as the usage. So yeah,
and that's the other thing is like the minutes per game. Like Ja's at 33, Trey's getting closer to Luka at 35, SGA at 35, Tatum's playing 36, but it's all around that 35 mark, which again, we're arguing about 3 minutes a game, give or take.
Yeah.
But if you add 3 minutes a game for 52 games, that's a lot of extra wear and tear, coupled with the high usage rate. I just think it's interesting how, if I can find Booker, can you see Booker on my list anywhere?
Up a tiny bit.
Oh,
up like
Booker.
4. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So he's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11th.
Yeah.
But he hasn't got crazy high usage. Well, his usage is I think where Booker is, he's got a 31% usage rate with 36 minutes per game.
He's got one of the higher minutes per game, but a lower usage for that number of minutes, which I think
doing less.
Yeah, which I think tracks kind of what I mentioned before. There are some teams that you still have a guy with relatively high usage, and I think I see Mitchell on that list very, very close to Booker as well. See, like the Cavs and Phoenix are those teams that have multiple options. The ball movement's crazy. Like they still have their main scorer. Like Donovan, for example, came in beginning of the season just like, I'm going to get buckets.
Yeah, he's playing higher minutes than what I'd maybe like Mitchell.
Yeah.
But he's up there.
Yeah, but it's not the same situation as like a Mavericks where they're getting a lot of usage for the one player, but they don't have all the other options. Yeah, so they're kind of forced into doing that.
That's the thing, right? If you've got high usage with high minutes, that's the thing. Like Mitchell's playing high minutes but lower usage, which means that even if he doesn't, Luka's taking every shot, he's still doing things. He's still getting worn out.
Yeah, because
the usage is high, the minutes are high. You need those people around you to take the ease off. He can't do everything. I don't think what the Mavs are what Mavs are doing at the moment, and they're like that. Well, I guess that's the thing. They're 9-10. They're 9 wins, 10 losses. They're 11th. It's a close season at the moment, but they're literally relying on Luka to carry them at the moment, and I don't think it's sustainable.
That's a good point. Because look, Luka I think is top odds for MVP race for pretty much all places you go to, and that tracks with the crazy stats he's putting up. But it does, it makes me a little concerned because he seems relatively durable. He's not quite as like fragile as some young players are. They haven't quite put on that muscle yet, and they're a little bit more fragile. But yeah, I don't know. Just it does make you worry with that much usage and that many minutes. Like he's pretty much doing everything on the court. Yeah. It makes you worry because you'd hate to see if he gets injured. First of all, everyone in the league should be sad because he's so entertaining to watch. But secondly, the Mavs have literally no hope.
Yeah, and
they look like the Rockets.
The other thing as well is that Kevin Durant is on high minutes. He's playing about 36 minutes a game. He's only on a 32% usage rate, but it's that same thing of like, he has had a history of significant injuries.
Yeah,
like, can you afford to have probably the one player you can't afford to lose averaging 36 minutes a game?
Yeah, I think, and also we're not saying so far much as load management to the point where it's like not entertaining. Like we're not saying
don't take him, don't rest him for the. But that's the thing. Like if you could average Giannis is averaging 32 or something, 33.
Yeah.
Like think about it's crazy. Like you're like, oh, it's only 5 minutes, but when you add 5 minutes up for 4 or 5 games a week, you need to. The NBA is not a sprint.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a marathon.
It's one of the longest seasons in a lot of sports. The sheer number of games played. Yeah. So yeah, I think they kind of like teams like Dallas are kind of forced into. I don't think they're going to give Luka less minutes because they need him out there doing what he does. But yeah, it does raise the point, like, if they can at least drop it down a tad just to not overwork and risk injuries and things like that for the players. So it is a good point, but I think some teams have the luxury of having the option, some teams don't.
And yeah, but like the big thing is like last year, like KD was tired in the playoffs. He didn't have enough spring in his step because of the grueling season.
Yeah.
So just a fun little, it wasn't super analytical, but just a fun little usage rates with minutes played. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
We have, we want to do a couple of predictions.
Yes. Well, it's still early in the season. Makes it interesting because we can look back maybe halfway through the season, maybe at the end, see how accurate we were. And I think the most interesting ones would be MVP and Rookie of the Year. And I think early on, it'll be interesting to see where we go with this. So let's start with MVP.
See, I thought I made up my mind, and I realized that there was one problem.
Yeah.
I was about to pick Luka, but there's a problem because at the moment they're 11th, and we know that the odds, like, you have to be a top 3 team to realistically get MVP.
Yep. For anyone who hasn't heard I think it was season 1 even, we did a little bit of a breakdown. I think I did Ben's bombshell on it. But yeah, we pretty much found out that you have to be on a contending team to have any chance at MVP. If you're at the bottom, you're not going to get it.
Russ is the only person.
Yeah, the only outlier, but he had triple-double season, so pretty crazy.
But like Luka is doing that well, so like maybe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Luka, but now I'm like, oh, we've got to follow the rules. But you know what? I'm gonna go with an outlier.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Jason Tatum.
You know what? I was actually thinking that, which sounds crazy because just on a sheer like stat line perspective, like he's scoring really well, but you have like your crazy stats like Luka. But on the team performance, I think that plus his individual, like I don't want to cast any shade. I think it's a good pick. I think that's a sleeper pick, to be honest. I think not enough people will be considering that.
Which people are probably going to sleep on Boston all year because like it's Boston.
Yeah, they'll just get used to them.
But maybe like if Boston can get like a story of like, oh yeah, we got close last year and we're doing really well this year. We're gonna make it this year and make it win. Like
the story does play into it.
It's the story. But that's the thing. Like Luka's got the story at the moment of like carrying the Mavs for some reason.
I feel like I really only should pick one. So I'll give you my like runner-ups and then I'll pick my actual pick.
Okay.
I think Jokic could still be there.
Yep.
Denver's at the moment second. They're doing better this season.
Mm-hmm.
So if they finish strong, I mean, you can't really argue. If he puts up the same stats as last year or better, and they do better as a team, he surely would be up there.
Nah, but he's already done it twice.
True. They're going to pass around to someone else, yeah.
That's the thing. Like he's already done his like, oh yeah, best big man in the league story. Like,
Perhaps.
that's it. Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, I don't know. If Denver really do well, I'm going to put that as a backup. Yeah, obviously Luka, if the Mavs do okay, then he has a chance, but otherwise no. There's also Giannis, because if the Bucks also do well, he's always in that conversation. I do really like Tatum.
Give me a number one. Come on, give me a one.
Okay. This is so tough. I'm gonna say. I don't know if I want to say it. I'm gonna say Giannis.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think if the Bucks if they overtake the Celtics, if they like finish like first, I don't know, because I think
spicy icy when Giannis doesn't get it.
I mean, I don't necessarily want Giannis to get it, but I just think that it's going to be someone in the East this season. I think it could be Tatum or Giannis. So I think you're right. I don't think Jokic 3 times in a row, even though the statistics back it up.
He's not. He doesn't seem as unstoppable this year.
Yeah,
so far.
Yeah. I think Giannis, because also he's had a strong start to the season. I think that kind of helps when he's had teammates out and stuff like that. But yeah, he's like top 5 in rebounds, top 5 in points. If he keeps it going, I don't know. I can see it happening. So
maybe, but he's also got the problem of he's already been an MVP.
Yeah.
So, but Giannis, yeah, we'll see.
All right, so we'll put in at the moment Tatum.
Yep.
Giannis. Let's see what happens.
I wish I could pick Luka. I was gonna pick Luka, but
yeah,
the media is very behind him at the moment.
I mean, he's absolutely balling though.
But
I almost want to switch to him. You know what? Just be crazy. I'm going to pick Luka. I changed my vote.
If they get to 6th, I think it's possible.
Yeah, if they squeeze in, bottomish playoff teams, then it's enough to at least do it, because Jokic had it when Denver was 6th, I think. So. Yeah. I'm going to say Luka. I'm going to risk it all. Okay. I'm going to say he just goes absolutely wild. And with that crazy usage we were talking about, as long as you continue that and not get too exhausted, then yep.
Rookie of the year.
Oh,
this is easy. Banchero. Done.
I love
GG.
Paolo. Yeah, low-key, I'm really rooting for him. I like him as a player. He's currently leading rookies by a fair margin in points per game.
Jabari Smith, for example, is like heating up now, but Banchero has come in and looked like a ready-to-play NBA superstar from the moment he got on the court.
Yeah, that is very true. He hasn't had a warm-up period. He's just straight up been like, I am an NBA player.
Baller.
I also want to say Banchero, but just to be different, like my secret pick is I'm definitely picking Banchero, but...
secret, not so secret.
Yeah, not so secret. I'm going to pick Benedict Mathurin because... this is kind of crazy.
Cool name.
They did have him at the top of the rookie leaderboard for a couple weeks, but just because of how good Indiana is going at the moment, I don't know how much MVP.
Is this the guy that's been talking smack to LeBron?
It might be. I think the thing is, right, like MVP, the team, we just said the team performance is important. Rookie of the year, less so, right? You could be on a bottom team, still get rookie of the year. But the Pacers are 4th at the moment. They're 4th in the East with not many options, really. They should be tanking at the moment, and he's somehow balling out. He's 2nd at the moment in points on rookie, so I reckon he's the 2nd best pick.
There's a rookie on the Pacers that's been talking smack to LeBron James.
That'd be Benedict Mathurin, yeah. I think he's got a little bit of ego, but
this dude's got the largest nads I've ever seen.
I mean, yeah, it is a bit early in his career to be talking smack to one of the GOATs, but he's balling out, to be fair. He's a little bit behind in points, but he's more efficient than Paolo in terms of his shooting splits. I don't know, man. I still like Paolo. I hope Paolo gets it. Bruh. But Benedict, I'm going to put that as my pick. Just
everyone loves to feel bad for the Orlando Magic.
Oh, man.
Everyone doesn't care about the Pacers.
Yeah. I don't know, but the Pacers are 4th. This is over the Sixers, over the Hawks, over the Raptors, over the Nets. Like that.
They're not going to stay there.
Yeah, they might not.
The Pacers
It'll be like the Jazz. The Jazz already dropped down.
The Pacers are even less cared about than Utah.
Halliburton's playing really well, though, as well.
Yeah.
So
watch him get traded.
Yeah. Again. Yeah, all right. So let's lock that in as our early picks. We'll see. Check in halfway through the season.
Put it on the board.
Yeah, put it on the board. I'll write it on, and then we'll lock that in.
Well, the Hoopinions curse lives another week.
Yep. Let's see if we've just cursed our guesses for MVPs and rookie of the year.
Imagine if Tatum just starts to play terribly.
Ooh, well, I guess we'll have to stay tuned to see if the curse will strike again.
Oh, gosh. Next week. Oh, dear. Well, thanks for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your mum about it. We're very welcoming to mothers.
That sounds sus as hell, bro. Pass it around, share it. Catch us on all the social medias. We'll be up on TikTok, up on Instagram, Insta, all that good
YouTube.
stuff.
We're getting there.
And yeah, catch you next time.